We have with us Vishal Thakkar, the Deputy CFO at Anupam Rasayan, joining in on the show right now. Vishal, hi, morning. Share with us the specifics on this recently signed LoU with the Japanese client.
Hey, good morning, and thank you for taking us on your channel. Let me just take a step back and give you the context of this one. If you see, this is a series of the developments that we have been sharing with the market and what has been happening to us as well, is that the efforts that we have been putting in for last 3 to 5 years are now culminating into results for us. And this is a very new age molecule, which means that it's pretty exciting for us, which also gives us a good quality of margins and a very high visibility of revenue going forward. Because if you get, as you rightly said, it is a 2,200 odd crores of revenue over next 5 years, so that's pretty good for us. It will start in CY25. It's a fluorination product. It's an active ingredient, a new age molecule. So if you look at it from a product value perspective, it is on the ticking all the right boxes that we would want for our company.
But could you give me a timeline as to when the revenue potential would accrue, when the revenues would start flowing in, and when, more importantly, this letter of intent would be converted into a firm contract?
Yeah. So see, the first thing is that we will start getting the revenues from CY25, and for this we can start working it from our own plan to start with as well. And another thing that you do interestingly see is that this is also two or three things I will want to add on to this before I get into the other part of the conversation, is that what is it, why is this happening for us? The large part of it is happening because of two or three things. One is what we have demonstrated our chemistry for us, and two is more importantly the supply chain that we have worked across. So the supply chain over the last so many years that we have developed, and value chain. Supply chain like the Tanfac acquisition really gives comfort to all our customers that yes, now we can supply the fluorination products with at ease. And two is when you have a full value chain where you're starting from basic raw material to a finished product, that really plays out significantly here, and that's what is really helping us here now.
So, Vishal, but the other thing that analysts are talking about is that you're winning significant orders, you're signing all of these agreements, a lot coming in from the Japanese client itself. But could execution be at risk because the working capital requirements continue to be quite high? Could you talk to us about how that is panning out?
Yeah, so as we had mentioned in the last few quarters calls as well, that the working capital intensity is dropping. If you really see, last year we were at a working capital intensity of 290 days. Today we are, in terms of inventory, today we are around about 250 days when we closed the last year, and we see that those inventory intensity is reducing as we go forward. And that is classically what we had mentioned in the past as well. It is one is because cautionary inventory that we were holding because of the Ukraine-Russia conflict is now getting released. Second is also it is coming from the more efficient operations that we are talking about, and the third is basically the 6 months contracts that we were talking about, which are now coming into play, at least for the more than 50 to 60% of them. That will come further down, and that will improve my working capital intensity for us.
Vishal, you're signing all of these orders, so that should mean that should augur well for your top line, right? What kind of growth you're envisaging in FY24 with respect to revenue, and what about FY25, because this will start flowing in from CY25, you said?
Yeah, so if you look at the total contracts that we have signed, LOIs and contract that we have signed till date is around about 7,700 crores of revenue of number in total. And that gives us a strong visibility, because even if you divide it by 5, we are talking about 1,200 to around 1,500 crores of revenue per year. So that's the kind of revenue forecast that we can see for ourselves in our plan. In terms of revenue growth for FY24, FY25, I would tend not to give a specific number, but what we have been doing it in the past, around 25% growth, which we've been historically doing, we should be able to look at that. We should be able to do that kind of a number as we go forward as well. So that's what we would see for next 2 to 5 years time frame. Backed by this demand that we have been seeing, I think we should be able to achieve those kind of numbers.
Okay, so 25 to 30% growth is what you have in mind for the next couple of years, at least the run rate. What about the EBITDA margins? It was around what, 24, 26%, if I have that right?
So last year we did 29% EBITDA margin, but this year I would tend to guide. See, we would always try to do a better number than this, but I would always guide it in the range of 26 to 28% EBITDA margin is where we would like to be there. We would not want to guide anything better than that, though we may be able to do better than that.
Okay, might under promise and over deliver. That's what Anupam Rasayan is aiming for. Thank you, Vishal, for joining us and talking to us about the outlook as well as the new agreement that you have signed with the Japanese client.